Hello, and welcome back to History Videos for Kids. Today, we are going to be talking about Emperor Ch'ien Lung Qing, who was born on the 25th of September, 1711. He was the youngest of 4 brothers and was the favorite in the family. His grandfather and dad absolutely adored him, which is why, even though he was the youngest, he became emperor before his brothers. Ch'ien became the emperor on October 11, 1735. In the year of 1772, almost 40 years after becoming emperor, Ch'ien set out to complete one of the biggest projects a person could do. But before I tell you about that, there are some things you need to know. First of all, China is a very large country. One of my Chinese friends said that the country of China looks like a big chicken. During Qian's reign, there were millions of people living within China's borders. In fact, there are still a lot of people living in China to this day. Ch'ien was proud of his very large empire, but he was even more proud of China's greatest accomplishment, its books and poems. Anyway, in 1772, Emperor Chien Lung Qing decided to search all over China for every piece of literature that had been written in the past several hundred years. They searched in every library and every rich man's own private collection. After searching high and low, Chinese scholars finally came up with a very long list of all the amazing books China had produced over the years. After the emperor and the scholars had studied this list for hours, they had decided to have a selection of what they thought to be the most important books for 4 different categories. These categories are literature, classics, history, and philosophy. And now, for the most tedious part of Ch'ien's wishes. The emperor wanted to have all of these works copied into one single set. This set had 36,275 volumes. He wanted to have 7 different copies of this set. What do you think about that? Yeah, that's a lot of work. As you know, our alphabet consists of 26 letters. All English words are made from these 26 letters, but the Chinese have over 40,000 different symbols. Just 10 years after their search for all the Chinese literature began, the first copy of the set was finally completed. The name you see behind me was the Chinese name given to it. This name, translated into English, means the complete library and the 4 branches of literature. It took 5 more years to finish the 6 other copies. While Chinese scholars were saving all these books, Ch'ien Lung Qing demanded other books to be destroyed. He did this because he had come from the Manchu dynasty. Several years earlier, the Manchu people came down from the north and claimed the throne. The reason he wanted some books destroyed was because some of the Chinese people resented the Manchus' rule. There were some books that talked not so positively about the Manchu. The scholars that had made the long list a couple years back also had the job of looking out for any pieces of literature that spoke unkindly about the Manchus. They were then supposed to bring the list of books that were negative about the Manchus to the emperor, where he would order them to be destroyed. This went on for 14 years. The emperor demanded that people check and recheck for the unapproved books over and over again. Chien Lung Qing loved his power more than books, which is saying a lot considering how much time and effort he spent writing the complete library in the 4 branches of literature. Emperor Chien Lung Qing ruled for a little more than 60 years. He died on the 7th of February, 1799, at the age of 87. Well, that wraps up our presentation on Chien Lung Qing. We hope you enjoyed this skit. See you next time.